Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. We are back with the video. I want to go ahead and apologize very quickly for the lack of video on Sunday. We have family in town, so we are busy with that, and Veeda Bella, of course. So we are back, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. So we're getting started by doing a backfill on my lovely client. We're going to be doing a very simple set. I decided to show you guys this video regardless, just because I'm going to be using a variety of different pinks, and I feel like it's a really good way of swatching them for you guys. So here we are. We're going to be doing the whole process from removing her current design to doing a new simple design using tons of pinks. So I'm starting off by using my Efile at a speed of about 11,000 RPMs. For today's video, I am using the Not Polished 5-in-1 bit. This one I believe is in medium grit. It's such good quality. I have tried their bits before and I wasn't a fan of some of them, but this one right here, as soon as I used it, I was like, okay, I love it. I'm gonna go ahead and use it in a video. So definitely really recommend this one. I'm going to be going in and just filing off her existing design. This is what I consider a backfill. I've explained it before in another video. I call it a backfill just for easier reference. So whenever you take a design of acrylic, a lot of the time people ask, how to remove that design to do a new one. You can always just soak it off with acetone, but it can be pretty lengthy of a process. And I almost feel like it's a longer process than doing this version. So I like to just quickly file the thickness of the acrylic down very thin. And I try to remove as much color as possible so that I can go in with a new design, a new color, without having to worry about the coverage. Now I wanted to talk a little bit about the powders and the ones that I use in order to cover specific colors. In my last backfill video, I did explain how I do the backfill. So I wanted to kind of touch base on how to cover efficiently a nail. So for example, if you have a design that is all black and the client comes in and wants to change it to a nude color, a light pink, or a very light color just in general, I always recommend having a variety of different powders and different brands because they will serve different purposes. So when it comes to backfills, I personally love using Glam and Glitz. I feel like their colors are extremely chalky, but they are so pigmented that even if you pick one of their nude colors, it's going to cover the darkest color that you have on the nail. So that's kind of just my preference. I know a lot of people do not like their products, but I personally appreciate them for what they are because it helps me cover every single color that you may think of. So say my client came in with black nails and she wanted to go back nude, I would definitely gravitate towards the Glam and Glitz powders. Like I mentioned, they're chalky, but I can work with that because it's going to serve me a better purpose by covering the entire dark color that she had previously on her nail. Now, of course, I know there's instances in where you want to do an ombre. I would personally suggest using a very blendable color for the ombre portion, and you will be able to kind of figure that out as you use different products, use different brands, and all that good stuff. So just a quick little recommendation on the very pigmented, opaque colors that I definitely recommend. So I'm just going to go ahead and fully remove that color. I, for the most part, am able to remove the majority of that color. And I simply just continue to file and I move across the nail all the time. I'm not staying in one portion of the nail for very long because that will cause a heat spike and it is very painful. If you've done it on yourself, I'm sure you don't want to do it on a client. So I'm just gonna make sure that I focus a lot on the tip portion and I quickly move upwards towards the cuticle area to kind of file that off a little bit. I'm using about a medium amount of pressure on my handpiece, and again, like I mentioned earlier, a speed of about 11,000 RPMs. Now, I did ask my client if she wanted to trim these nails and she said yes. She's been struggling a little bit, so I went ahead and changed my bit out to my Mandrel bit and sanding band from Profiles Backstage. Move my speed down to about 7,000 RPMs for the portion where I'm trimming down the nail. And then I'm just very quickly switching it back down to 4,000 RPMs for the actual process of me removing the remaining acrylic on her nail, removing lifting, and just buffing off that shine from her natural nail. Now always remember, when you're using an Efile, you make sure that you are working very, very steadily. I always make sure that I fully grip her finger, and then I hold my handpiece very, very well, vertically up and down to the nail, so that I can just fully file that off without the Efile skipping, without losing control of that handpiece at all. So make sure you are doing this very, very carefully. Now very quickly, I'm gonna go in with my hand file. This is the Tammy Taylor Peel and Stick file, my favorite files of all time. I'm gonna go in and file the sides of the nail, basically reshaping that nail. I did trim them down quite a bit, so we're gonna be making sure that I score that off properly, and that way my application goes on there a little bit better. Now this middle finger did have a little bit of a chipped side to it, but I'm gonna go ahead and leave that. We're just gonna file it, go with it, and I'll be able to extend it and make it more square once I lay the acrylic. I still want that length, so I'm not gonna cut it down all the way to where that little divot is. Now once I'm content with the shaping, I'm gonna go back in and finish prepping her natural nail. I love implementing this step to my prep process. I feel like it really, really helps with any lifting issues you may have. I'm just quickly using this needle bit, and I'm gonna have my speed at 4,000 RPMs. And just very quickly going around, you can see all the dead skin that I'm able to remove from the area. Even though you think you might have removed it all with your mandrel bit, always go in and double check your work. So I'm just dusting off the nails. Now we're gonna go in with the cuticle ball bit. Her cuticles are very, very well kept. They don't grow out at all, really. So this is very minimal that I'm doing. I'm just kind of going in over like any little dead skin areas that I see, any little dry areas that I see, and it'll help kind of smooth and buff that out. For today's video, I'm actually using the Not Polished acrylic brush in a size 12. Along with that, I'm using their monomer as well. Now, as far as the colors, I'm going to be showing you guys all the colors, apply them on the nail, and tell you guys the names of them as well. If the name changed, because sometimes I've noticed that that happens on the Not Polished website, I will leave the link down below in the description box for the correct one. So make sure you guys check that out instead of searching the name, but I'm still going to go ahead and tell you guys what it says on the container. So this one is called Sparkle Ember, number M95. I love this color. It's such a pretty like springy summer transitional pink. It has like a slight orangey undertone, which I really, really like about it. Definitely more muted and less neon. Now for the ring finger, this one is G5 from their glow collection called Vivid Dreams. I absolutely love this color, and I wish I would have known that it was a glow powder. She's gonna have one glow powder so far, so we'll see how many other ones I chose that were glow. I should definitely take the time to separate those from my collection just so that I'm aware and I can let my client know. But this one is a little bit more on the pink side, so definitely less orange undertones, more vibrant pink. I'm trying to kind of transition them nicely from the pinky to the thumb, and then on the other hand I actually did the thumb color from this hand on the pinky. So I'm kind of just changing them up slightly from hand to hand, and you'll be able to see that at the end of the video. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish applying that. Now, as far as the middle finger goes, I'm using Power Move from Kiara Sky. This one is a little bit more of like a Barbie vibrant pink. No orange undertones at all whatsoever. All pink for sure. Super, super opaque, but very, very blendable. I love their powders as well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish applying that. I definitely do think that I could have placed this one on the pinky and transitioned it from that, but it is what it is. On the paper towel, it definitely looked like the flow went perfectly. Now the index finger, of course, I got another glow color. So this one is G12 from Not Polished, called Glow Getters. Funny story, when I was a lot younger, about beginning of high school, I always used to do pink toes and pink nails. And I want to say that this is like the perfect color match to that pink that I always used to get. So I thought I'd just throw that in there for your guys's kind of visual idea of what I used to like. But whenever I started placing this on the nail, it literally just brought me back to all those times that I used to do my nails pink. So I thought that was kind of funny. But I'm just going to go ahead and finish applying that. Always, always, always starting at the tip, working my way up towards the cuticle, holding the finger downward, making sure that I fully coat the nail and blending it down nice. And then lastly, from Not Polished, this is one of my go-to neon pinks for the summertime and for Valentine's Day nails. It's super, super vibrant, has a kind of red undertone to it, but it's just super, super bright. I feel like it looks a lot brighter in person for sure. I love this color. Definitely recommend if you guys want a super vibrant neon pink. Super, super, super pretty. I'm going to go ahead and finish applying that. Then we're going to go in and quickly encapsulate these nails. Now for my encapsulation process, I'm just very quickly taking a small amount of clear acrylic from Not Polished. I'm basically just blending it out all over the nail, making sure that I evenly coat it, just to add a little bit more strength back into that colored acrylic and just to protect the nail, and honestly really just thicken it up a little bit more because I do like to lay my colored acrylic nice and thin. going in with my filing process, back with my 5-in-1 bit from Not Polished. Efile speed at 10 to 11,000 RPMs, very light pressure on my handpiece. I'm going to go in and just very quickly file the surface of the nail. I try to lay my product as neat as possible, so this process really is extremely quick. And I like to personally file upwards, like vertically. That way that my e-file won't skip at all and I don't have to be too concerned about it going all over the place and freaking myself and my client out. So I'm just quickly going around that cuticle area nice and tight, making sure that it is very flush to her natural nail, and then quickly filing the entire surface of the nail. Now I'm going in with my hand file once again, filing the shape of that nail, just perfecting everything. Even though I already pre-shaped the nails, once you lay the acrylic, sometimes it can add a little bit of thickness to it. So I want to make sure that I'm just slimming it back out, making sure everything is nice and straight. I am also going to be flipping the hat around to look at the nails from the client's perspective to square off that tip. Unfortunately, I was completely out of frame on that portion of the video, so I went ahead and just took that out. But you guys get the idea from all my previous videos. Once we're done filing, I'm going to go in with the lint-free wipe from Kiara Sky, a little bit of Young Nail Swipe. You could always use alcohol or send your client to wash their hands in the sink. But I just prefer this method because I feel like it's a lot quicker. I don't have to worry about my client taking forever to come back. So I'm just going to go ahead and quickly clean that off, remove any excess dust, dehydrate that acrylic so that I can go ahead and apply my top coat, nail art, or whatever you need to apply afterwards. For my top coat, I'm going to be using the stain resistant top coat from Young Nails. It is my go-to for hairstylists, people that smoke, really anybody that is prone to getting stains on their nails. Please use this. It is amazing and it is a game changer, especially when you're doing very light colored acrylic like white, clear, or nude. So I'm going to go in and add a thin layer of that, cure it in my Kiara Sky LED light for a full 60 seconds. I sometimes like to do the 90-second option just to give it a little bit extra curing time. And then we're going to be removing that tacky layer. Unfortunately, this one does have a tacky layer. Me personally, I don't care because the top coat itself is such good quality and I know that it's going to help my client come back with perfect nails. So I will bypass that. If it's just a regular top coat, I definitely would not like that it had a tacky layer, but it is stain resistant, so we're going to deal with it. I'm going to go ahead and pop that in the light, then we're going to be applying some cuticle oil and finishing off this set. Adding some of my favorite cuticle oil from Profile's Backstage very quickly to her cuticles, rubbing it in. And then I did actually forget that my client always requests me to buff the underneath of her nail. So I'm going to quickly do that with my sponge buffer from Profile's Backstage. You don't need to overly round the edges. All I do is take that underneath and it makes it not sharp at all, but it also doesn't mess up your shape. So make sure you guys try to implement this instead of rounding off the edges. But that basically concludes today's video. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a ton, and I'll see you guys next time.